the world tilts. Not a gentle sway, but a violent, sickening lurch. It happens in the kitchen, sunlight pooling on the scuff marks on the floor, the faint smell of morning coffee still in the air. He's standing across the island, his face a mask of something I don't recognize: accusation, triumph, cruelty. He pushes the phone across the smooth quartz, and my eyes snag on the screen. Images, messages, names I don't know. A narrative laid out in careful, damning detail. Proof, he says. Proof of my betrayal. My breath catches in my throat, a physical obstruction. It's like a punch to the gut, cold and sharp, doubling me over internally, even though I stand perfectly still. The familiar space of our home warps, the sunlight suddenly harsh, the air thin. This isn't happening. This can't be real. Let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps me more than you know. Before this, there was ease. There was a rhythm to our lives, comfortable as old shoes. We built it piece by piece. The quiet mornings, the shared jokes over dinner, the way his hand found mine under the table without thinking. We had a comfortable house, a couple of cars, a life that felt settled, secure. I worked, he worked. Weekends were for puttering, maybe seeing friends. It wasn't a fairy tale, but it was ours. It felt solid, like the foundations were deep and true. We talked about the future, about retirement, about trips we wanted to take. There was a quiet certainty that we were in this together, navigating the currents of life side by side. My desires were simple. Continue building this life, nurturing our connection, growing old with the person I trusted implicitly. That trust was the bedrock. The absolute, unquestioning belief that he was my partner, my safe harbor. It was a given, like gravity, like the sun rising. Then the phone slid across the counter. He speaks, his voice cold, detached. I know, Sarah. I know everything. The words hang in the air, heavy and suffocating. I stare at the screen, my mind refusing to process what I'm seeing. Names, dates, locations. A story of clandestine meetings, whispered promises, a secret life I supposedly led. It's elaborate. Too elaborate. But the images, they look real. Photos that seem to place me in rooms I've never been, with people I've never met. Messages written in a style that vaguely echoes mine, twisted into something foreign and ugly. My first instinct is denial. Fierce, absolute. What is this? This isn't real. What are you talking about? My voice shakes, betraying the sheer shock. This is a nightmare. I just need to wake up. He doesn't flinch. He leans back against the counter, arms crossed, a posture of judgment. Don't lie, Sarah. I have proof. He gestures to the phone. It's all there. You thought you were so clever. The accusation hits again, harder this time, laced with contempt. It's not just about infidelity. It's about deception, about a perceived betrayal that runs deeper than anything physical. It's about a secret life lived under his nose. And he believes it. He looks at me, not with hurt, but with cold, hard conviction. My early struggles are a blur of desperate pleading and frantic searching. I try to explain, to point out the inconsistencies. This date, I was with my sister. This picture. The background is wrong. I've never been there. But my words bounce off him. He has built a wall, high and impenetrable, cemented with the evidence in his hand. Every denial is met with a shake of his head, a sigh of feigned disappointment. Just admit it, Sarah. It will be easier. Easier? The word is a cruel joke. My life is being dismantled piece by piece, and he offers easier if I confess to something I didn't do. The injustice is a physical pain, a burning in my chest. I feel like I'm drowning, flailing in murky water with no surface in sight. I try to get friends involved to explain the absurdity of it all. But he's already been talking, planting seeds. His narrative is simpler, cleaner. She cheated. I found proof. It's easier to believe than the convoluted truth I'm living. Some friends offer hesitant support, others back away, unsure, unwilling to get caught in the crossfire. The isolation begins to set in, a chilling silence where once there was laughter and connection. The evidence becomes my tormentor. I pore over the images, the messages, trying to find the seam, the flaw. But it's good. Disturbingly good. The messages mimic my phrasing. The photos are manipulated with unsettling skill. He's thought of everything. He's covered his tracks. Or rather, he's created tracks where none existed. My rising challenges aren't just convincing him, or others, of my innocence. It's proving that the proof is fake. How do you prove a negative? How do you disprove something manufactured to look undeniably real? It feels impossible. He watches me, a predator watching cornered prey. Sometimes he's angry, sometimes he's sorrowful, performing grief for an audience of one me. The gaslighting is relentless. He questions my memory, my sanity. Are you sure you weren't there? Maybe you've just blocked it out. He says it with a chilling sincerity that makes me doubt myself for a terrifying second. Everything falls apart. The house, once our sanctuary, feels like a prison. We exist in parallel dimensions, breathing the same air but light years apart. The accusations escalate. He starts talking about lawyers, about dividing assets, about telling my family. The stakes are raised, brutally and swiftly. My job performance suffers. Sleep is a distant memory. Every waking moment is consumed by this suffocating cloud of false accusation and the desperate need to clear my name. I feel trapped in a narrative written by someone else, a villain in a story I didn't choose. The genuine fear sets in, fear of losing everything, my home, my reputation, the life I built. All based on a lie I can see through, but cannot dismantle. I hire a lawyer, a sharp woman with tired eyes who listens patiently. But even she is cautious. The evidence is compelling, Sarah, she says, her voice gentle but firm. Disproving digital evidence. It's incredibly difficult. It often comes down to a he said, she said situation. He said, my life, my truth, reduced to a schoolyard squabble. The hopelessness washes over me in waves, cold and heavy. He holds all the cards. He dealt them from a deck he stacked himself. Then the midpoint shift. It happens late one night, slumped over my laptop, staring at a screenshot of one of the incriminating messages. It's supposedly from my phone, to a contact named Alex. I've stared at it 100 times, searching for a tell. This time, my eyes drift to the top corner of the screenshot. The battery icon. It's fully charged. Full green bar. I remember that day. It was chaotic. Back-to-back meetings, rushing around. My phone battery was draining fast. I specifically remember plugging it into a portable charger in the afternoon, around the time this message was supposedly sent. It was down to 20%, maybe less. A tiny detail, insignificant on its own, but it snags in my mind. I go back through other screenshots he showed me, messages supposedly sent at various times of day. I try to recall my phone's battery level at those moments. It's not definitive proof, just a flicker of inconsistency. But it sparks something. Doubt, not in my innocence, but in the authenticity of the images themselves. I start looking closer. Not at the content, but at the presentation. The font is slightly off in one message. A pixelation around a pasted image in another. Small things, almost imperceptible. But they are there, like tiny cracks in a carefully constructed facade. It's not just about disproving the affair anymore. It's about proving he created the evidence. The shift is seismic. The despair doesn't lift, but it changes form. It hardens into determination. The energy that was consumed by panic now channels into a cold, quiet resolve. I am not just defending myself. I am hunting the truth. The deepening crisis feels less like drowning and more like being lost in a labyrinth. Every turn leads to a dead end. I try to find digital forensics experts, but they are expensive and their work is painstaking. The inconsistencies I found are too small, they say, easily dismissed as glitches or screenshot artifacts. He continues his performance, alternating between wounded husband and stern accuser. He controls the narrative outside the house, subtle hints to mutual friends, painted with a veneer of sadness. I hear whispers, feel eyes on me. The world shrinks to the four walls of the house and the sterile office of my lawyer. He starts pressing for a settlement. Just sign, Sarah. Let's end this quietly. It's clear what happened. He offers me terms that are laughably unfair. A pittance. A payoff for confessing to a lie. The audacity of it is breathtaking. He's not just trying to get rid of me. He's trying to ruin me, financially and socially. The realization is stark and chilling. This isn't just about a perceived affair. It's about power, control, destruction.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe he's bored. Maybe he wants an excuse to leave without being the bad guy. Maybe it's something far more twisted. The why doesn't matter as much as the how and the how to stop it. The pressure is immense. The legal bills are mounting. My emotional reserves are depleted. There are days I sit in silence, staring at nothing, the weight of it all pressing down until I can barely breathe. He moves through the house like a ghost, sometimes hostile, sometimes eerily normal, asking about my day as if we weren't locked in a silent, brutal war. It's a form of torture. Psychological, relentless. All seems truly lost. I can see the path laid out before me. Capitulate, lose everything, disappear with my reputation in tatters. The turning point arrives not with a bang, but with a name. In one of the fabricated message chains, there's a reference to a specific obscure piece of software, something I've never heard of. I search online. It's a niche photo and video editing tool, known for its advanced manipulation capabilities. It requires a specific, expensive license. My lawyer mentioned discovering software on his work computer that she found. Unusual, but dismissed it as irrelevant to the divorce. Could it be this? I need access. Not just to his phone, which is now locked down like Fort Knox, but to his computer. His work computer is impossible. But his personal one? He's careless sometimes, leaving it open. He thinks I'm too distraught, too focused on proving my innocence in the affair, to look for how the proof was made. He's underestimated me. A new determination solidifies. It's cold, sharp, precise. I stop trying to convince him, to reason, to plead. My energy shifts entirely to the hunt. I start watching him, observing his habits, his schedule. I learn his passwords, not by guessing but by paying attention. The date he mutters to himself, the sequence of numbers he uses for everything else. He thinks I'm broken. He thinks I'm defeated. He thinks I'm blind. He couldn't be more wrong. The plan is simple, dangerous, and requires perfect timing. I need to find the source files, the project files from that software, the raw evidence of his fabrication. I need proof not just that the evidence is fake, but that he faked it. And I need to present it in a way that leaves him nowhere to hide. The climax is set for a Tuesday evening. I invite his parents over. And mine. And my lawyer. It's framed as a final attempt at mediation, a desperate plea for everyone to just sit down and talk. He agrees, I think, because he's confident. Confident in his evidence, confident in his performance, confident I have nothing left. He walks into the living room, shoulders back, a picture of injured dignity. Our families sit awkwardly on the sofas, my lawyer quiet in the armchair. The air is thick with unspoken tension, judgment, pity. He starts talking, rehashing the accusations, presenting the proof on his tablet, his voice layered with sadness and betrayal. He tells the story he's constructed, painting me as a villain. My parents look devastated. His parents look stern, disappointed. My lawyer watches him, unreadable. I sit silently, my hands clasped in my lap, a strange calm settling over me. He finishes his performance, looks at me, a challenge in his eyes. So, Sarah, he says, his voice dripping with false sympathy. Anything you want to say? Anything you'd like to finally confess? This is it. The moment. I look around the room, at the faces of the people who have believed him, doubted me, watched my world crumble. I stand up. I don't raise my voice. I keep it steady, quiet. I have something to say. I begin. And I have some evidence of my own. I walk over to the small side table where I placed my laptop earlier. He watches me, a flicker of confusion on his face, quickly masked by condescension. What could she possibly have? I open the laptop. Connect it to the large TV screen in the room. The screen flickers to life. I navigate to a folder I accessed hours earlier, carefully copying its contents. I click on a file. It opens. On the screen appear the original project files from that obscure editing software. Not screenshots of messages, but the project itself. The layers are visible: the base photo, the pasted text layers mimicking messages, the image manipulation layers adjusting lighting and shadows to make me look like I was in a specific place. I open another file. It's a video project. A short clip supposedly showing me getting into a car with someone. On the screen, the timeline shows the original footage, me walking down the street alone, and then the superimposed image of a car door opening, a blurred figure added in the driver's seat. The audio track shows where fake background noise was added. My lawyer leans forward, a slow smile spreading across her face. His parents are staring at the screen, their faces pale. My parents look from the screen to him, confusion turning to horror. He freezes. His eyes are wide, darting between the screen and me. He starts to speak, a strangled sound. What is this? You went through my computer? I ignore him. I click through more files. Emails he drafted to himself, sending the finished fake images from one of his accounts to another, creating a false digital footprint of receiving the anonymous tip. Timestamps that show these files were created after the dates of the supposed events. A document outlining the narrative, the sequence of messages and images. A script, essentially. I turn back to him. His face is ashen. The confidence is gone, replaced by pure, raw panic. The mask has shattered. You didn't find proof of an affair, I say, my voice still quiet, deadly calm. You created it. You faked every single image, every single message, every single piece of your proof. You built this entire elaborate lie from scratch. He shakes his head, stumbling back, bumping into the coffee table. No, that's not right. It's a mistake. His voice is thin, reedy. The performance has completely collapsed. There's no mistake, I say, walking slowly towards him. I found the software. I found the project files. I found the drafts. I found the script you wrote. All on your computer. All dated, showing when you made them. I stand before him. He's breathing heavily, his eyes darting around the room like a trapped animal looking for an escape. His parents are staring at him, their disbelief palpable. My lawyer is making notes, a look of grim satisfaction on her face. Why? My mother whispers the word, her voice broken. He opens his mouth, but no sound comes out. He looks at me, really looks at me, perhaps for the first time in months. He sees not the cheating wife he fabricated, but the woman he tried to destroy. And he sees that I didn't just survive. I found the weapon he used against me and turned it back. He lets out a sound, a choked gasp that's half sob, half choke. His eyes roll back in his head. He sways, then his legs give out. He collapses onto the floor, a heap of tailored fabric and shattered lies. His parents cry out, rushing towards him. My lawyer nods slowly, a silent acknowledgement. The room erupts in chaos, concerned cries, accusations, the metallic clatter of the coffee table as it's pushed aside. I stand there, watching him on the floor. There's no pity, only a cold, profound stillness. The storm he conjured didn't destroy me. It forced me to become the eye of the hurricane. The aftermath is a blur of sirens, hushed voices, and shocked faces. An ambulance takes him away, his parents following, bewildered and devastated. My parents stay, their shock giving way to furious protectiveness. My lawyer quietly gathers her things, a look of professional triumph mixed with sorrow for the wreckage she's witnessed. The house is silent again, but it's a different kind of silence. Not the suffocating quiet of being trapped, but the hollow echo after an explosion. The truth is out. The lie is exposed. His elaborate construction crumbled in an instant, burying him beneath its weight. The consequences for him are significant. The legal implications are clear. He didn't just lie. He manufactured evidence, potentially a criminal act. His reputation, meticulously crafted, is in ruins among those who matter. The control he craved, the power he sought by destroying me, has vanished. He won nothing. He lost everything. For me, there is a strange, complex cocktail of emotions. Relief, sharp and pure, like finally breathing after being underwater. Vindication, sweet and hard-won. But also, a deep, pervasive sadness. The life I knew is irrevocably gone. The trust is not just broken, it was revealed to have been a foundation built on sand, on deception. The man I loved, the man I shared my life with, was capable of such cold, calculated cruelty. That realization is a wound that may never fully heal. The process of cleaning up the mess is long and messy. The divorce is no longer about his accusations, but about his crime. My lawyer handles everything, protecting me from the fallout, from the attempts by his side to mitigate the damage. I don't speak to him again. There's nothing left to say. He made his choice. He chose the lie. I walk through the house, now truly mine again, unburdened by his presence or his deceit. The sunlight in the kitchen still falls on the scuff marks. But the air feels lighter. The space feels larger. It's empty in a way that aches, but also holds possibility. The secure life I thought I had is gone. But in its place is a harder knowledge of my own strength, my own resilience. I wasn't the villain in his story. I was the hero in mine, the one who saw through the illusion and fought for the truth, not with brute force, but with quiet observation and unwavering resolve. The victory isn't joyful, it's sober. It's the quiet satisfaction of standing firm when the world tries to sweep you away, of rebuilding when everything has been torn down. It's not a happy ending, not in the traditional sense, but it's a true one. And for the first time in a long time, the ground beneath my feet feels solid again. If this story hit close to home, I'd love to hear your version. Thanks for being here. Subscribing helps bring more of these to life.